Hi everyone, in Real Talk today I want to connect with you on controlling your image. Is it positive? Is it negative? What people perceive is not always reality, so we need to manage that. Now this is particularly for people that are working in a remote position or have more of a flexible setting at work where they're in and out of the office, more freedom, or those that have clients that they don't necessarily see on a daily or weekly basis. To start this off and lay a little groundwork, I want to bring context of generational gaps in the workplace. If we go back to baby boomers, who some of you still might work with quite often, the logic of that time was the most time you spend in the office is what's seen as highly valuable. So the sooner you arrive, the later you leave, those are the people that got the promotions because they're considered to be putting in the most work, the most effort. And so it's a cardinal sin for those people, to arrive late and leave early. Millennials have a totally different view of working. It's perfectly understandable to have flexible working hours. We crave that. We want more work-life balance. We want to be more efficient with our time. And so whether it takes us 3 hours or 30 hours to get something done, if the quality's there, it shouldn't matter, right? Yes and no. Most people have evolved enough to realize that's true. But there's still a part of our brains that when we don't see the amount of effort being put in, we start to view the quality of work or output as less than. So it's very important you control this image if you're one of those people that is not putting in necessarily the face time at the office, or people can't see all the work you're doing behind the scenes. Let me give you a quick story. Okay, so when I was starting my business, the way that I structured it is very much the first 2 months is putting in a ton of work, hand holding with my clients, laying the foundation of cover letter, resume, interview coaching, networking strategy, all of those things. So we're talking, connecting, sometimes multiple times a week. That naturally tapers off as I've taught them everything and they've gotten all their documents together and they're just running like a well-oiled machine. However, that maintenance can look very different from the work that we started together. And I had a client come back towards the end of one of those things after placement and express frustration about, you weren't working as much. It seemed like you were slacking off, like you didn't care about me anymore. And I explained after the fact, upon realizing how that looked, it's like, no, that's a natural attrition of the process. We just don't have as much to do together. But obviously I'm constantly thinking about, what can I do on your behalf? Who can I connect you to? Are there any opportunities that I think would be good for you? You're always at the top of my mind because it's very important for me that you see success, but there's just not as much to connect on. Now, the miss on my end was being able to communicate that, being able to realize how he could have perceived that natural attrition of work as me no longer caring about him. So when it comes to your work style, a really helpful thing is how can you be proactive? Okay, that could come in a variety of forms. It could come in over communicating. Something as simple as, hey, I had this thought of this project we're working on. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but just wanted to run it by you. If you're sharing a project or you're thinking about them or doing a check-in, even if it's 5 minutes, and it doesn't need to be a check-in every week or every 2 weeks, that's a fake or poor use of time, right? It doesn't mean you call and you chit-chat for 30 minutes just to say you connected with them. It could be 5 minutes. Nobody's saying you need to misuse your or their time, but something that makes them feel like you're still keeping them top of mind and you're able to communicate, hey, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything you need? No? Great. Moving on. That constant communication and proactive communication will make them feel like you're not off in Cabo on vacation or prioritizing other people over them. They're no longer as important because you haven't, gone silent on them for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, or they don't see the work that you're doing behind the scenes. They only see the deliverable, which comes every couple weeks. Okay, so think proactively about how can you communicate, what can you talk about, how can you check in and share things you're working on or thinking about on their behalf so that your reputation is not ruined because you're just a more efficient person or you're working remotely and they don't get to see on a regular basis everything you're doing. Okay, something to think about. Make sure you manage your image so that you can be successful in your career. Good luck. Have a great day.